Hi, Dave Lennox here. Thank you for your interest in Lennox heat pumps. Interior Plumbing and Heating has been providing indoor comfort solutions for customers in the Kamloops area since 1949. Now, the goal of producing this video is to provide you with a basic understanding of what a heat pump is and how it works. A heat pump is an efficient appliance for cooling your home in the summer and warming it in the winter. Although heat pumps are new to many people, they've been around for many, many years. And it wasn't until the price of natural gas went through the roof that they became a real, viable option in the Kamloops area. Now, if your existing furnace is less than 12 years old, an add-on heat pump can be an effective option. First and foremost, a heat pump is an air conditioner that does all of your cooling in the summer. It also provides supplemental heat in the winter. I'll explain the cooling mode first, and this will make it easier to understand the heating mode later. On a hot summer day, the first thing that happens is that the thermostat recognizes that it's hot in the house and calls for cooling. The furnace fan then turns on, drawing the heat from the house into the return air duct, through the furnace to the heat pump coil. Now, this coil is similar to a radiator in a vehicle. It has metal fins so that the air can pass through easily. It also has copper lines that wind their way throughout the coil. Through the refrigeration process, the heat from the house is removed or transferred to the heat pump and rejected outside. The cooling is then introduced to the house as the air passes through the coil and continues to travel through the ductwork and out your vents. Now, here is what a heat pump can do that an air conditioner cannot do. In the wintertime, you then change your programmable heat pump thermostat from cooling mode to heating mode. This activates a reversing valve that allows the refrigerant to flow in the opposite direction. Now, when it's cold in the house, the thermostat calls for heat. The furnace fan turns on and draws the cold air from the house. It passes through the furnace without igniting the expensive natural gas and then passes through the coil. Meanwhile, outside, the heat pump begins collecting the heat from the outside air. You heard right, heat. Air, even at a temperature of minus 80 degrees Celsius, contains a certain amount of heat energy. This heat is easily absorbed by the refrigerant used in the system. It becomes even warmer as it passes through the lines of the outside coil. Then, this warm refrigerant passes through a compressor, which increases its temperature dramatically. The extremely hot refrigerant is now pumped into the house and through the inside coil. The cool air that was being drawn in by the fan is now heated and is then reintroduced through the ductwork and out your vents. Now, even though a heat pump system can absorb heat from very low temperatures, there is a limit as to how cold it can be and still work efficiently. In the Kamloops area, that balance point is minus 4 degrees. In other words, when outside temperatures are colder than minus 4 degrees, the furnace will run on natural gas. But when temperatures are minus 4 and warmer, the home is heated by the heat pump system the majority of the time using no natural gas. And here's the payoff. In the Kamloops area, we average just 10 to 14 days each winter where the temperature falls below minus 4 Celsius. And because the cost of running a heat pump is roughly 30% to 50% cheaper than burning natural gas, it's easy to see the benefits. Those savings can only increase as the cost of natural gas keeps going up. A new energy-efficient Lennox heat pump is a wise investment. Not only will it provide years of worry-free heating and cooling, but it will actually give you return on your investment through the utility bill savings.
When I first heard about heat pumps, I wasn't sure what they were. I wasn't sure how they worked, and I read a little bit about them.
We found out about heat pumps when we looked into air conditioning originally, is when we had heard the term.
I've talked to friends over the last 2 or 3 years, and they've been very high on a heat pump. and the efficiency of it.
We had heard about it at a home show and thought it was very interesting, and then Dean came and presented to us and we were sold.
As a mom, watching what I spend is really important, so when I heard about heat pumps, I thought it was a really great option.
Roughly, I'm saving about $800 a year. The winter, I'm saving close to $100 a month, and in the summertime it drops off to about $50 because naturally you're not using the furnace as much as you would be in the winter.
Well, I think what we were most surprised at, and I had been tracking our utility costs for many years, that probably saw about a 30% decrease in our overall utility costs. And knowing that we were paying out money all summer to run an air conditioner, which was now an added expense, at the end of the year we were recouping money because we were saving on our heating bills.
With our old furnace, when the heat come on, it just blasted it out and you got cooked, and then it cooled off and then it got cold. Where what's so impressive with me of the heat pump is that it's basically a constant temperature. There's no cool spots in the house, and it's a very, very comfortable heat.
We actually had to turn it down a little bit just to get, because we were used to having the big blast of heat and then cool and heat, and where it was just a constant, so it felt warmer and cozier.
Mostly what I like is my heat temperature in the house is stable, it doesn't fluctuate as much, and the boys can sleep upstairs in their rooms and it's not too hot anymore in the summer.
We got the heat pump installed last week and we're surprised by how quiet it is. It's running right now.
I was told that the sound coming from it is about the same as a refrigerator in your house, which isn't too far from the truth. It's definitely a lot quieter than a straight air conditioning unit.
I mean, we've situated the pump where our neighbors would see it, so we wanted something that looked nice. We wanted something that wasn't going to be disturbing us. Our deck is there, our bedroom's right above it. And it's quiet, it's a low hum, it's really not very visible. It blends right into our sort of side here, and it's great.
Interior plumbing and heating, their tradesmen were first class, the estimator was first class, and the work was first class. I'm very pleased with it.
Our experience with interior plumbing and heating was great. They were professional and personable and very considerate.
I would definitely recommend interior plumbing and heating. When I phoned Dean, he was always there. I could always get him, answered my questions. There was, I think, one adjustment that had to be made, and they came out right away and adjusted it.
We were very clear that it had to be very neat, it had to be very tidy, it had to look like it came with the house from the minute we bought it. And they definitely met our expectations. They were efficient, very neat. It looks beautiful inside. We wouldn't even know it was there. There was no after work that we had to do to clean it up to make it look as good as we wanted.
Anytime I've ever had to deal with the staff at Interior Plumbing and Heating, they've been very courteous and professional, and I find them very friendly. They're willing to answer any and all of my questions.
Saving money is the paramount thing. Looking at that gas bill every month and seeing that it was about half of what it used to be, and also you can brag to some of your friends, some of my relatives. They have a look at it and say, "Wow, how come your gas bill's so low?"
We decided that why waste our money on buying an air conditioner, because that was just going to eat up all of our funds. Why not find something that would help give us back some money? So that's why we chose a heat pump.
I think that installing a heat pump is a really great idea.
I'm very, very, very pleased that I put it in.